Hey out there in YouTube land. I'm in a finished basement right now, and I'm going to be tiling around an electric fireplace. One of my friends is going to be using the same tile I'm using today on his backsplash, so he said, can I make a video? It's a new kind of tile. Let me show you what I'm using. Well, first, let me show you what I'm doing. So that's an electric fireplace. I took the cover off. Before I took the cover off, I penciled around where the cover's going, so I know where the tile has to go beyond that line, so you don't see any seam there. And this is the tile I'm going to be using. Peel and stick. Got it from Lowe's. I think it's $12.99 a square foot. Now the reason why we're doing it is, well, first of all, it's only a small space, so the difference in price isn't that big of a deal. It's so much easier. Supposedly, I never worked with it before. You peel the back off and you stick it. No thin set, no grout. It's easy. Here's the tools that are recommended. So I brought my wet saw down today. So let's see what it's like to put up. So I cut the first piece. Cutting it that way is easy. You just cut through the back adhesive portion of it when you're going this way, and it's easy. When I go to cut it this way, I'm going to show you how I use the wet saw. Let me show you what I did prior to starting to install them. I want to cut everything that I can down here in the basement, make life easier on me. But I also want to see how the tile's going to line up, because I don't want to have a space at the end and then make some weird cut. If you're doing like a backsplash, the following's not going to apply to your specific situation. But just in case you're doing something like this, let me show you what I did. I cut this one piece, and then I want to see how it fits. So this is how it's going to fit. It's going to fit right up to the wood molding, and then down, and the glass cover is going to cover that end. So I move over here, and I made a line over there. You see that line? And then coming up, the same size fits down here, which is nice. One less cut, right? Because you see where the pencil line is? I just have to go above that. So I brought this over here, and I made that other pencil mark right there. Now I bring this piece up, I put it there, I got that pencil mark, and then I want to see where is it going to line up. And it's going to be pretty close. So here's what I'm talking about. So this next piece is going to be here, right? And it's going to come down to that pencil mark, which is going to be right there. Sweet. I need 6 pieces, all the same size. So here's a little trick I use. So this is the piece that I took off. So you cut the backing. Just take one of the leftover pieces that you cut off and use it as a template for the next ones. Like this. I already cut that. And you don't have to do it gingerly. Cut right through that sucker. And then you see how I put the backing, the cardboard that came with the tile. This way I'm not cutting into my floor. So you see how those tiles run? So they interlock. That first piece over here, I want to look like from that to that with the even edge. That's where I use a wet saw. This is a wet saw, in case you never saw one. And you should use a table so you don't have to bust your butt. However, I found a snowblower that it fits nicely on. It's a wet saw because there's water down there. And it lubricates and, takes the heat away from that blade there. And that's the finished product. This tile's pretty thin, so it's easy. And the edge, anywhere there's any kind of like discrepancy in here, I'm going to caulk the edges anyway. So I got the first row in. It was a little tricky. First you cut all straight seams down, right? And you'll be able to caulk that if there's any uneven ones. That looks pretty good. And then I started the full one up top and the full one down the bottom. And then these cut ones here, I had to line up and didn't have to make any more cuts. Now it should go pretty smooth until we get to that edge. It's coming along, right? Got that one edge to do. Let's take a look at the finished product, and then I'll tell you what I think about these peel and stick tile. I gotta tell you, it really finishes it off, right? That fireplace was less than $200 on Amazon. I got to get one for my basement. These are the tiles that were used. Got them from Lowe's. I think they were $12.99 for about 1 square feet. Like I said, if you're doing a small project like that, I mean, you can't beat it. That project was 10 full tiles, so roughly $130. You can get tile for much cheaper than $13 a square foot. You could probably get it, I mean, nice tile that you want to put around a fireplace like that, you're probably going to spend, I don't know, somewhere between $3 and $5 a square foot. Let's say $5 a square foot. So you could have did it for 50 bucks. But then you would have had thin set or mortar to set the tile in. And then you would have had to grout it. So you have to add that in. So let's say it would have been half the price of this tile. The effort that goes into using thin set, the mess it creates, and then grouting afterwards, the time that's put, this is well worth it in my opinion. Hit me up below and tell me what you think.